Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning into this, I already know a little something about you. You're a high achiever, right? You put in the long hours, you push the boundaries, and you are just deeply committed to your own personal growth. So think of our time today as a one-on-one coaching session. I really want to help you optimize how you work, how you think, and honestly, where you spend your energy. Today we're looking at a pretty rare psychological framework for success. Okay, let's dive into this and explore the concept of the silent architect. This whole thing is about mastering the inner logic of your brain and finding this true, unshakable power in quiet progress.
First off, I just want to acknowledge your relentless hard work. You are out there doing the heavy lifting. But let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like because you aren't announcing every single win to the world, it kind of feels like it doesn't count? We live in this exhausting modern culture, right? It rewards the literal performance of progress way more than the actual progress itself. It subtly tells us, if you didn't post the gym selfie or that late-night laptop shot, well, the work didn't actually happen. It's a massive trap. And honestly, it drains the exact energy you need to succeed because you're feeling this constant pressure to announce your work just to feel valued.
Now, we need to completely deconstruct a massive corporate myth here. We are so often taught that the loudest person in the room is the most successful, right? The most confident, the most driven. But psychology actually suggests the exact opposite. The frantic energy of the loudest in the room usually stems from just being desperate for immediate praise. And ironically, they are often the furthest from their actual goals. Contrast that with the silent architect. This is the person who's quietly building, quietly moving the needle. They aren't broadcasting, they're just executing. Their progress is stable, deeply rooted, and it absolutely does not rely on the volume of their voice. So to understand why staying quiet is so powerful, we have to look at what happens when you don't. The very first thing a silent architect understands is the absolute danger of false satisfaction. This happens when you turn a goal into an identity way before it's actually finished. You see, most people just rush to tell everyone about their big plans. Oh, I'm writing a book, or I'm starting a business, simply because they crave that immediate hit of praise. But when you do this, your brain literally mistakes that social validation for actual achievement. It gives you the dopamine hit of crossing the finish line when, in reality, you've only just tied your shoes. And that false satisfaction, it totally kills the long-term gritty effort you actually need to build your vision. This whole rush to announce our plans stems from something known as social validation dependency. It's a psychological trap. It's that deep-seated, nagging urge to be understood, validated, and approved of by absolutely everyone around you. As your coach, I'm telling you right now, we need to break this dependency. A silent architect knows that your peace and your progress just cannot depend on someone else's perception. You have to accept that most people won't understand your depth or your why. And hey, that is absolutely fine. Because once you stop relying on other people's approval, you free your mind from this constant emotional negotiation. Suddenly, all that wasted energy goes right back into your work.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we need to reframe our entire concept of quietness in the workplace. See, highly intelligent people practice this constantly. To the outside world, holding back in a meeting might look like shyness, or maybe a lack of ideas, or even low confidence, but the silent architect knows that silence isn't shyness at all. It is a highly strategic period of mental editing. While everyone else is talking just to hear themselves talk, you are in the dark, refining the most complex ideas. You aren't rushing to speak, you're taking the time to filter and perfect your thoughts before they ever leave your mouth.
Let's make this super actionable for your daily routine. Here is your guide for practicing mental editing in your very next meeting. Step 1. Think, filter, and verbalize internally first before you ever speak. Step 2. Remove that I already know attitude. Trust me, it ruins respect and just closes you off to new information. Step 3, and honestly, this is the most important one. Stop over-explaining yourself. We often think over-explaining is an intellectual necessity, like we have to make sure people understand us perfectly. It's not. Psychologically speaking, over-explaining is simply a survival instinct designed to avoid rejection. So cut it out. Just state your point clearly, and then sit comfortably in the silence. By practicing that mental editing, you actually shift your entire posture in a professional setting. You finally drop that exhausting need to constantly prove yourself. Instead of obsessing over being right, or, making sure everyone knows you're right, you use strategic silence to project true power. When you stop talking, you start listening. You begin to really grasp the dynamics of the room. You see the unspoken politics, you hear the actual concerns hidden behind all that corporate jargon, and you perfectly position yourself to solve the real problems. Focus on understanding the landscape, and just let the loud people exhaust themselves trying to be right. Remember, say less, do more, isn't just some tired cliché. It is a profound, incredibly strategic way to command respect. When you don't broadcast your every move, when you don't over-explain your every single decision, you create an aura of true competence. Let your silence make them curious about what you're building. While they're all wondering what you're up to, you're just maintaining your own internal cognitive rhythm. You aren't getting pulled into the frantic pace of office gossip or the anxiety of performative productivity. You are simply doing the work. Let's move to the internal tracking dashboard and see how this builds into a really sustainable daily system. To be a silent architect, you absolutely need this internal framework. You must deliberately shed the need for a like button to tell you you're doing a good job. So number 1, detach from immediate feedback. Your progress shouldn't halt just because your boss didn't praise you today. Number 2, cultivate your own internal motivation. Number 3, manage your focus like it's oxygen by protecting your mental peaks for deep, uninterrupted work. And finally, rigorously avoid conversations that go nowhere. By tracking your progress internally, your path to success becomes, well, infinitely more stable. Now, I do need to warn you against a really common mistake high achievers make when they try to be quiet. Do not confuse the silent architect with invisible effort. Invisible effort is this kind of toxic habit of hiding your hard work so that you appear naturally gifted, like you just woke up a genius one day without even trying. That's really just another form of ego. What you actually want to practice is visible integrity. You don't announce your standards, you demonstrate them. You show up, you do the work, and you let your daily, consistent behavior speak entirely for you. Your standard of excellence becomes visible to everyone, not because you tweeted about it, but because they actually witness it.
Take a look at this concept of day one. It represents the very human, very common desperation to receive a trophy the exact moment we start something new. We want the applause on day one of the diet, day one of the new project, day one of the business. But listen, there is immense untapped power in purposely choosing to stay unnoticed longer. Because when you demand a day one trophy, you're inviting day one scrutiny. You literally invite the weight of everyone else's opinions before your foundation is even poured.
So the crucial point is mastering the art of delaying recognition. A silent architect purposely stays in the background for as long as possible. By delaying recognition, you allow yourself the necessary space to experiment, to fail, and to grow, totally free from the crushing pressure of social expectations. You give your ideas the time they need to breathe and mature. You aren't just sprinting to the finish line for the applause. You're taking the actual time required to build a masterpiece.
As your coach, if there is one ultimate truth I want you to take away from this explainer, it is this exact idea. Real strength isn't about finding closure or constantly wringing approval out of your peers or your management. Real strength is being so completely secure in your own identity and your own capability that you don't need constant external validation just to feel valid. You already deserve to exist. You already deserve to succeed. You are capable and you are worthy, even if absolutely no one is clapping for you right now. Your worth is inherent. It's not awarded. Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question for you to consider as we wrap up our session today. Are you building in the shade? Really think about it. Do you find that you actually work better, think clearer, and produce much higher quality work when no one is watching? I challenge you today to stop performing your progress, master your inner logic, implement that mental editing in your next meeting, and confidently enter a season of quiet, powerful progress. Be the silent architect of your own success. Until next time, keep building in the shade.